Hello, hello, this is Patty Jo. Hi, how is everybody? I first want to quickly address address some comments that are coming back based on something that I said. I don't know that I'm going to go back and revisit exactly what I said, but I believe it was in regards to something that we haven't even seen yet. So we can actually pull that trigger and on the all those comments and let that go when we actually see it. But it's when some of his narcissistic gaslighting behavior that he exhibits to win arguments come out, and one of them is intimidation. And when he slams his fists and mean mugs Judge Darrell, and we haven't even seen the one of the biggest things yet, and where she points it out, says she's taking a break, and because it scares her. And I said something to the effect of, and probably something like this, because I do believe it. I'm listening to your comments, and I appreciate your comments. But I said something like, I think it was a mistake for her to voice that she was afraid. Not saying it was a mistake to be afraid. I'm not saying she was wrong. In fact, I think no matter what she said, it was right. Because if there's like a cloak of right and a cloak of wrong in that courtroom, I think we both know who wears those cloaks. Okay, Judge Darrell is right, and Darrell the Goblin is wrong. Like that's not even a question. I think where I think it's a mistake is it fed his ego. It fed that narcissistic need to intimidate. He knew he intimidated her because she said something. That, I think, looking back on it, maybe in the moment, I would have agreed. I think in the moment I probably did agree with her. But now, as I look back on it, and I think when we see it, like I said, we haven't even seen that part yet, but when we see it, I want to really see. I don't think it's necessarily 100% right or 100% wrong, anything she did. I think she was weighing the scales of controlling the courtroom or not, um, his appeals or not, making a fair trial or not. And it's all a big balancing act. And whether she made what we perceive as mistakes, we weren't there. A lot of us aren't judges. I know I'm not. I'm not even a lawyer. I just think that in that case, looking back at it, and when we watch it again, I may change my mind. But right now, I think she fed that narcissistic ego. That's all I was saying. All of you can disagree. She had every right to say that she was afraid. I think anybody does. Dealing with him in any capacity is traumatic. And all of these people are heroes who had to do this. The jurors, the people sitting there, the people that he offended by hurting them, everybody who had to deal with it, even the people who were in the background of that, who had to administrate this whole thing, scheduling. I mean, think about just the carbon footprint of this trial alone. Ugh. Like, everybody deserves a cookie here. Everybody deserves a hey, thumbs up, thank you. All right, so that being said, please come on with the comments. If you don't agree, that's fine. I would love to hear it. I love to read them. That's why I'm addressing it. But with the information I have now, that's kind of where I stand. I don't think she was wrong, but I think it may have been a mistake to say it. Does that clear it up? I don't think so. We'll see. We'll see what you say about that. All right, everybody likes it better. We're going to make it a little bigger. I know we're taking a break, and I don't think I fast forwarded this, so let's take a look at this. Beer, and the time goes. Oop, here we go. Somewhere in here.
Take a mid-morning break. I'll rise for the jury, please. All right, thank you. Everyone, please be seated. State, have the next witness available.
Yes.
Yep, no, I know. I need the jury.
Yes, we're
Go
ready.
back on the record. We'll have the jury brought out. I know I did that once, but I'm not going to do that again.
Audio on.
Not yet. Now it is. You got to.
Oh my
I
god.
got to be faster on that. Yep. Sometimes I just forget.
So needs to be the center of attention. Ugh.
No.
What's wrong with him?
Still has yet to be proven for the
Oh my
record.
god, shut up.
Is that a judicial determination that you don't have to answer that, Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, I've already answered subject matter jurisdiction. You know that full well.
No.
She just didn't agree with you, Darrell. Her the ruling she put in writing and handed to you twice that you tore up and threw away didn't agree with your little snowflake goblin poo that got caught in your... Oh, I found my face diaper that I cannot say subject matter jurisdiction without the face diaper on. Because it doesn't mean the same thing. Ugh.
I
Written
don't.
decision was entered last week.
I know nothing. It has yet to be proved. That's what I know.
Because you have to agree.
Doesn't need to be proved.
It does. It has to be proven by the prosecution. You know that.
No,
You knew it.
I actually know to the contrary, so we're not going to address
So show me lawful law that it
Lawful
says
law.
it.
that.
Mr. Brooks, I provided you with the law.
No,
I'll
you
give
have
you
not.
you know what? I'll have my clerk print off another copy of that order. So
You don't have to
it.
do that. Have
No,
her
I'm going
print.
to because you apparently didn't read
No,
it. So
have
I
her
hope you
print
read
off
it this
proof.
time.
Have her print off proof that you have subject matter jurisdiction. How about that? It has to be proven
Mr.
for the
Brooks,
record. It has
you
yet
are
to be
simply
proven.
wrong as a matter of
No,
law.
I'm not. If I'm wrong, then show me that I'm wrong.
I've given you the constitutional and
No,
the
you haven't.
statutory authority.
No,
and
you
the
have
case
not.
law.
You have not proven it on the record.
It doesn't need to be proven, sir.
It does need to be proven.
I believe the jury's coming in. They're coming in.
I believed it. Gotta prove it. You gotta
Now
prove
he's gotta
subject
say
matter
in front of the
jurisdiction.
jury. Thinks he's doing something.
Set for value in return for value of that document. It's not proof of subject
And
matter
that
jurisdiction
that
for the
document
record.
list. I brought the list. It's right here. Document. Somebody had one that I missed. Recuse.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
She told her she
State may call its next witness.
herself.
Say we call Anthony Winters.
All right. Good morning, sir. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is on my right. It is upper riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Anthony Winters, ANTHONY WINTERS.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Sir, direct your attention to November 21st, 2021. Were you working in the city of Waukesha that day?
Yes,
What were you doing?
I was driving Lyft.
Can you explain for those few people, I think, who don't know what Lyft is, can you explain what that is?
It's a rideshare app where people can request rides point A to point B.
Now, some people use Uber. Is that similar?
Yes, same thing.
Okay, so Uber and Lyft, for those of you who don't know, Lyft I think actually came first. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but the rideshare apps, you use your phone. There was for a time, and I think there still is, a way to, like, at public places, like if you're at the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, there was a little kiosk thing, or it was almost like a billboard where you could actually touch and it would call one of the ride shares to your location. I don't know how you paid for it that way. If you had to like enter it, kind of like a McDonald's thing now, where you like enter your order and then you have to like swipe your card. I think it was similar to that. But this is not like a taxi service that you call. In fact, I'm not even sure. Somebody correct me if they know. Can you actually just call for an Uber? Like, what if I have a flip phone and I don't have apps?
Is that your full-time job?
No,
Did you go to the parade, the City of Waukesha parade that day?
I did not.
Were you aware that the parade was in downtown Waukesha that day?
Objection, Lee.
Overruled. He may answer.
Yes, I was.
How were you aware of that?
It was everything was blocked off, and there was heavy police presence. And then I saw kind of the convoy going.
Okay. So you say everything was blocked off. What do you mean by that?
Like a lot of the streets, when I was having to go pick up people, a lot of the streets were blocked off, so I couldn't go certain ways.
Do you recall approximately what time you started driving that day?
It was around like 3:25.
Mr. Winters, do me a favor. If there is an objection that's been raised by either party, wait to answer the question. I'll rule on the objection and then I'll let you know.
Yes, ma'am.
So the objection's noted, it's overruled, and you may continue answering.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said
3:25.
Thank you. And do you know approximately how many fares you took that day?
That
Objection,
day,
speculative.
Overruled. He may answer.
that day it was probably anywhere from like about 11 or 12, somewhere in there.
Were your clients all from the city of Waukesha? Was that the general area they were working?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
No.
And let me tell you something. I know people who've done rideshare. I did it a little while for a part-time gig. They don't care where they send you. They don't care if you're making actual money where they send you. Like, you could have to drive to a location that is so far away from where you are. They don't care. They're not paying you for that. That is just your own expense. Sure, you can take it off your taxes in some way or something, but I didn't do it enough to find out. But they don't care where they send you. So no. Unless a lot of people in Waukesha needed rides, he got sent everywhere.
I just happened to be in that area at that time.
Lucky you.
At some point after, do you know approximately what time you got done working that night?
Oh, it was probably later, around like 10, 11 o'clock that night.
When you got home, did you see anything on the news?
No.
At some point, did you become aware of an incident that had occurred during the City of Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yes.
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. He may answer. His answer may stand.
Generally, what information did you obtain?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled.
When I saw a bunch of police cars going, I contacted my sister because my niece goes to school at Carroll, and I was wondering what was going on. She told me something that wasn't even true that was going on, but later, after the next day after watching the news and social media, I found out what happened.
Looking back when you were working November 21st, 2021, did anything seem relevant with regard to that news that you saw?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yeah, I had a call that was in the area, and it was just like a really weird call because no one ever showed up, but there was a very descriptive message that I got from the person that asked for the call about who I was looking for.
Okay, so I'm going to direct your attention to that day, November 21st, at approximately 5:15 p.m. What time did how do you receive communication when you get a client?
Okay, I'm going to let him finish. I feel like Kanye West and Taylor Swift. But they're going to clear this up in a minute pretty well, actually. And I burned my lip on my lunch, eating my lunch. Anyway, when you get another person can go into their app and send you, like I could send a request to pick up at my grandson's house, to pick up my grandson and bring him to me. You're not supposed to, as a driver, bring or transport minors without an adult. So if I do that, it could be declined, and I would be charged a show up fee for something that's not legitimate. Okay. But some people will pick up the minors and like take them to school. And to be honest with you, I totally did. Like if it was, I could see it was going from the house to school. It was probably a kid who missed the bus, or a kid who doesn't take the bus, and the mom just pays for this all the time, whatever. But there were certain stipulations. I wanted to see the kid walk into the school. Like, you weren't just gonna walk away. Stuff like that. It's a little bit, or an adult had to be on the other end. So it's kind of an iffy thing. So there he gets into this where he thinks, okay, it's not unusual for people to get a lift for somebody else through their own app and have you go there. He was in a place that was kind of weird. It was a parking lot. It was a business that wasn't open. That's kind of sketchy. I'm not really, this was after I worked in the fire department that I did this part-time a little bit, but I was never really afraid. There was only one time that I looked down the alley it was telling me to turn down, and I was like, I have been down this alley, and I know what occurs in this alley, and there's no way I'm going down this alley. And I canceled the ride. Another Lyft driver go down this alley. And I would go in some pretty sketch places. And there was only one that I actually made get out because they were drunk and they were fighting, and they could leave.
When you're signed into the app, it'll just pop up. You can accept it or you can decline.
People are in danger when they go.
So you say it just pops up. How does it pops up
on my cell phone?
Okay. And did you receive a fare request or a ride request at approximately 5:15
Objection, leading.
Overruled. He may answer.
Yes, I did.
What information were you given with regard to that request?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. He may answer.
So the fare came in for Dawn, and the address I was picking up at was, I think it was 550 Elizabeth, and it was an empty. Well, it wasn't an empty. It was an empty parking lot, but it was a company that was closed. And then I was given information that I was looking for a light-skinned black guy with dreadlocks.
Okay. Now, when you say that was the name associated with Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that mean to you? I'm not sure exactly how Lyft works, but...
That's just
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled. He may answer.
That's just the name of the person that I'm picking up. That I'm assuming that's the person I'm picking up.
Okay. And were you in the city of Waukesha when that pop-up came on your phone?
Yes.
So what did you do?
Okay, so he gets a request. You do think it's the person that you're going to go pick up is the person who requested it. Doesn't necessarily have to be true. The fact that the business is closed, it's a parking lot, that probably wouldn't put me off so much as a driver, because maybe it's somebody who just requires a ride home. Maybe they're done working. Maybe they're custodial staff. Maybe they worked overtime. Maybe they're whatever. And they require a ride home. It's not a huge deal. I mean, I'm using Lyft a lot right now myself because I don't have a car.
I drove to the parking lot and waited for and hit that I arrived and waited for whomever was going to come out of the company.
And that would be, you said 550 Elizabeth Street?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's in the city of Waukesha?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive information as to where you're taking the person when you initially get the pop-up?
Objection, leading.
Nope.
Overruled.
If you did, as a driver, you would not take half of the garbage they gave you. Okay? Because right now we know that Darrell wants to go all the way to Milwaukee. Maybe this guy doesn't want to drive all the way to Milwaukee. If Lyft told him that, he may not take the ride. He may just pass it by. It's part of a transparency thing. I think they just, until you hit that you're there, you don't know where you're going. I think once you've ridden a bunch a lot more than I ever did. They give you more information. They never give you. It's not fully transparent.
You may answer.
When you initially get the request, you don't know where the person is going until you say that you arrived. Then you can see the address that they're going to.
Okay. So, did you eventually arrive at that location?
Yes.
What did you observe?
It was just a dark parking lot and a couple police cars on the street. No one was really around though. It seemed like it was like a closed building. I didn't know, just empty parking lot, no one there.
Okay. And did you see anyone, both strike that. When you arrived at the location, do you send some?
Okay, my granddaughter's awake. Gonna have to pause this. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish this up while my granddaughter's playing in the corner. So let's see how much noise she makes. Okay.
Thing through your app that says I've arrived?
Objection. Lead.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes, there's a button that you can just click and say I arrived, and it sends a message to the person letting you know that you're out. Let them know that you're outside and they have 5 minutes to come out.
Now, is that when you would get the destination on your app?
Yes.
And do you recall what that destination was?
I don't recall the physical address. I just know it was on 19th Street in Milwaukee.
So you said that the automated message went out saying that you were there and that you give that person 5 minutes.
Yes.
What happened after 5 minutes?
I began to message with whomever the person was on the other end, letting them know that I was waiting outside and that I was in a white car.
And this is a chat feature as part of the app?
Yes.
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. Your answer may stand.
And then what happened?
I received a message back letting me know who I was looking for and that they were calling a ride for someone else and they didn't know where he was. They then again gave me a description of who I was looking for.
And what was that description?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled.
Ask and answer.
Overruled. He may answer.
A light-skinned black guy with dreadlocks.
After you were given that information, what did you do?
I sent a message saying I didn't see anyone. I received a message back saying I don't know where he is. His phone died. He called me from someone else's phone.
What did you do then?
At that point, I didn't know. It was a basketball court out there, so I thought I was waiting on a kid.
Child.
So I didn't want to just leave.
You didn't want to leave a child.
So I got out my car. I knocked on the door at the
Reason.
company to see if anybody would come out. I rang the buzzer, got no answer. I got back in my car. I sent the message saying there's no one around. Could they, make sure the person comes out because I had already been past the 5 minute grace period.
Okay.
I got a message back saying I'll try to call them. I don't know what to tell you.
Then what happened?
Left his phone
At that point,
right
I was like, I had been out there for about 7.5 minutes. So at that point, I just canceled the ride.
Approximately what time do you recall canceling the ride?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled.
It was around 5:30ish, somewhere around there.
And when someone requests a ride and they don't appear, is there a charge then to that person?
Objection. Irrelevancy.
Yeah, there's a charge if they go past the 5 minute grace period. There is a charge.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further. Thank you.
There may be some questions. Any questions for this witness?
Yes.
Why'd you leave me? Why'd you take me out of and take
Do you
me home to
remember
my
about
mama?
what time the call came in for the lift?
5:15.
Do you recall being interviewed by any law enforcement in the days after that night?
Yes.
And do you know if that was by phone or in person?
It was in person.
This guy left him. So funny.
Upon arriving at the destination, you were supposed to be giving a lift to someone. Do you recall if there was anything strange about the destination?
Yeah, it was a closed building. There was no one out there, no cars in the parking lot.
And you said you canceled the ride around 5:30ish.
Yeah.
Do you recall what you did from that point?
I took another fare.
Same area or?
Same area.
This guy could have been the getaway car.
And you made reference to someone telling you something that wasn't true that was going on. Do you recall what that was?
I do recall what that it was. My sister said that the school told my niece to stay in her dorm because there was an active shooting.
Like, that sounds like a college or a community college. A lot of times their security will be, I worked for a community college for a long time, their security will be scanning police activity. When they heard active shooter, they would have locked down or done a stay in place, and that's all that really was. And then, of course, those families talk to each other, we're here, we're safe, and then the sister, the information just exponentially goes. So I don't know if there's a college near WAUKESHA. So we can find out. There's a high school. Darrell ran over the band. Oh my God. There's no need to even pause to make ridiculous comments.
And usually, does your Lyft app have a profile picture attached to it?
Yes, there are profile pictures available for those, but you don't have to have one. You are required to have one, and you are required to have a picture of your car so that people know who's picking them up. Even if you switch cars, it changes the picture and everything.
No.
But the people don't have to have their picture on there, which makes it just creepy. I think they should be required. Everybody's mugshot should be up there.
Do you recall when speaking to law enforcement something to the effect of referring to a profile picture or description included in the profile?
I recall saying that there was no profile picture.
And were you able to see any phone numbers or contact information?
Nope. Those are blocked for the safety of the driver and the safety of the passengers. That's why you can only communicate through the app. And people have asked if I would call, and I've been, no. Can't have my phone.
I was not. You can't see that stuff on the app.
You would know these things if you had a job or a car. Anything like that, Darrell.
Before you canceled the ride, do you recall the last contact with the person who had set the lift up?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they said, I don't know what to tell you, when I told them that I didn't see anyone.
And that was via text message?
It's a chat through the app.
Or are we proving some kind of shadow of doubt here? He never saw you, Darrell. The contact was proving the Lyft connection or a Uber or rideshare connection. Darrell's searching for a clue.
And you said usually, even if it's no pickup, there's a charge still associated with it?
Yep.
Do you recall how many requests you completed after that failed one?
Approximately 8 to 10.
And you did state that you were not at the parade that evening, right?
True.
No further question.
All right, thank you. Any redirect?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
Good job, Darrell.
State may call its next witness, please.
The state calls Daniel Ryder.
Okay. I'm going to go spend some time with my granddaughter. You guys like, subscribe, comment. Maybe we can talk some more about what you guys think about Judge Doro saying that she was scared when we get to it. But keep them coming. I like other points of view. Makes me rethink my own. Maybe I can get all this out of my head. All right. Thanks for joining. This is Patty Jo. Bye.